Bitcoin merchant tutorial. Today we're going to quickly cover how to set up your email rules in your email settings and how to configure the SMTP if you so wish to. Again, for this example, at the beginning of this video, we're going to use the servers already built in SMTP, which essentially means that you can already create triggers and get them sent using the notifications at bitcoinmerchant.app. So I'm going to quickly show you how this works. So we're going to go to settings on the left hand side here. We're going to grab our drop down menu. And we're going to go to emails at the bottom. And we're going to click on emails. So here you can see you can use the custom SMTP settings for this store. I will show you how to do this at the end of the video if you so wish, but it's not necessary to get started. So we're going to start with the creating an email rule. So we're going to go to email rules on the top right hand corner. Click on that. And this is where all your email rules are going to be listed if you do have any. This is a fresh setup, and again, if you are starting fresh, this is what you should see. So we're going to create an email rule, top side, and we can see we have our trigger field with a drop down. So we can see here all the different types of triggers we can set up. For this video, we're just going to cover invoices in particular. Again, you can have any stage or status of an invoice emailed to you. This would become somewhat redundant. Like, for example, if you would have a invoice expired status always sent to you, that means that if you have your email selected, or a company email, or select amount of company emails selected for this trigger, it would always send you a notification whenever an invoice expired if someone didn't fulfill that. So maybe you want that, but for the most part that would be somewhat redundant. But again, it just gives you the full optionality to have every status or type of invoice status event sent to an email you specify. But for this, we want to do the invoice is settled. We're going to select that one. And so conditions, don't worry about. The triggers pre-select conditions, so don't do this unless you, again, unless you know how to work with specified JSON paths. But for now, yeah, we're just going to go with the 2. So this is where you would put in your company email. So I'm just going to use this as one of my throwaway emails, for example. So every time an invoice is settled on my store, I want to send it to this email or whatever company email you have. You can also CC and BCC as you wish. This checkbox here, this is for if a customer has an invoice they paid for, and the invoice was able to ask for that email address, and that email address a customer actually did put in their email address. By clicking this, it would send them the invoice email as well, what you're setting up here essentially. So the subject line, for the subject line and body, we can type in whatever we want, and we can pull from placeholders. So the placeholders are essentially going to, like what they say here, the ID of the invoice can be pulled within the curly braces with the specific string inside. Again, you do need the curly braces with that specific string. If any part of that's wrong, it won't grab that particular data set. So again, you can modify any of the text in and around it, but you need to keep that intact in order for it to actually grab its relevant placeholder. And again, you can reference them all down here depending on what you're looking for, depending on what you want to include in the email. That all exists there. So this is all set up. Again, you can add images in here as well. You can bold, etc. You can do all sorts of little editing to your email as you wish, but we're just going to keep this as is because this is pretty basic. We're going to save. So now our email rule is set up, and we're using the current server email to actually send this. So we're not using one of our own company emails to do this. So the notifications at bitcoinmerchant.app would be the sender of this email if an invoice is settled, actually settled within our payment sections down here. So that's kind of how that works. Again, this would work for every other type of email trigger, but we're going to move on to how to create a SMTP. So like we want the sender email, what we're sending from, to be our company email. So we're going to want this to be our company email, just for example, right? So we're going to go back to emails, and we're going to select use custom SMTP settings for the store. So we're just going to select that. Now this is the drop down you're going to get here, and I'm going to use Google or Gmail as a example for this, as it's one of the easier examples to showcase. Again, for the quick fill, you can use anything here you want. The steps are going to be somewhat similar, but again, will look different depending on what provider you're going with. So I'm just going to click on the gmail.com, and that's going to pre-fill these two top fields here, the SMTP server field and the port field. So now for the sender's email address, we're going to want to put in our company email. So I'm just going to use this throwaway. And I'm going to copy this. So for the sender's email, again, this is going to be the company email you want to have your customer seeing, or whatever notifications set up that you want the sender to be. So that's what you're going to put there. For the login, it's going to be the exact same email. So you're just going to paste that in there. So it's going to be the same email address you want both times. And the password is not going to be the password for the email itself, but it's going to be an app passwords. So I'm going to show you how to grab this and create it within your Gmail account. So we're going to pop over to our Gmail account very quickly, and we're going to go to manage your Google account. So once you're in your manage Google account on the home page, you're going to go to on the left side, security and sign in, and you're going to click on that. And we're going to scroll down here. So we want to make sure two-step verification is on, because if two-step verification is not on, Google or Gmail will not allow you to create app passwords. So once we verified that two-step verification is on, then we can go to the search bar in the top left-hand side here, and we're going to type in app passwords. And we can see that app passwords pop up at the top. So again, if you don't have two-step verification on, this will not appear here, or if it does, you're able to even put in the address bar, the destination address. It will essentially not allow access. So we're going to click on that right now. And this is what you should come to and see. So we can see here we have no app passwords, so they would be listed here once we create. So I'm just going to quickly type in a name. I'm just going to call it BTC Pay server email, and I'm going to click create. Now it's going to bring up a password here, so we're going to copy this password. One piece of FYI here is that there are spaces within this that if you input the spaces in, the password doesn't work. So it's the password without spaces. Just one little piece of information, so you don't have to go back and do this. So I'm just going to use my notepad here and just remove all these spaces, and then I'm going to copy that password. Okay, so then we're going to go back to our password field here, and we're going to paste that password in. And that's all you need to set this up. So we're going to save this. Perfect. And now that we've got this saved, you see that password's configured there. We're going to run a test email. So we're going to use the exact same email just to test this out. Okay, so now we're going to send a test email. So we click send test email. And we can see here that we have a green pop-up. So that confirms on this end that this all worked. This is all configured properly. If it was not configured properly, like it was a wrong password, or your login or sender's email address didn't match up, or you put in the SMTP server field or the port number wrong, this would show up with a red pop-up telling you something's wrong. So we're going to go over to our email here, and we're going to see right at the top that that was successful. That email test worked. So now we can see that this is the email address that it's coming from. All our notifications would be coming from here based on our email triggers we just set up. So if a invoice is settled, this is the sender address we would see, and a customer would see potentially too. So that's it for this particular tutorial. Again, if you have any questions, reach out to us, and that'll be it for today. So thank you for watching, and keep stacking sats.